Good evening to you. Faced with yet more cancelled trains and bus replacements, it seems many Southern Rail commuters simply gave up attempting to travel today. It was just the first of 3 days of strikes this week. There are no Southern trains from Southampton and Portsmouth, with replacement buses from Havant to Chichester. There is a reduced service across the network to Brighton, up to Gatwick and into London Bridge and London Victoria. And once again, replacement buses have returned to Seaford. With the story, Malcolm Shaw.
Rush hour at Brighton Station this morning, and the concourse was unusually quiet. With only half of Southern services running normally, it seems many commuters simply stayed away. Outside, the RMT picket line was smaller than on previous strike days, but the Guards' opposition to driver-only trains as strong as ever.
Ultimately, what we're trying to achieve is maintaining a safe railway, and that's what it's always been about for us. And we know that if we keep a second person on the train who understands about operational safety and passenger safety, then the railways overall are a safer place to travel.
But with the dispute dragging on month after month, some passengers are now reaching the end of their tether.
Everybody is sick of it. We're all hardworking. We just want to get to work. And these guys, the unions, all they want to do is hold on to their little bit of power they actually have.
Alex Hemmensley from Hove is a freelance writer who frequently needs to travel to London. The shoddy service on Southern has cost her thousands in lost work. She believes the root of the problem lies in the rail company's unusual contract with the Department for Transport.
They hire Southern, they pay them a salary, a set fee, which leaves us as the commuters with absolutely no choice. We've got no recompense. If we all decide to not turn up one day, they'll still get paid the same.
With no talks planned between Southern and the unions, many are calling on the government to step in.
This is a dispute between the train company and the union, and I don't think I should insert myself into those negotiations. If they call off the strikes, I'll sit down and talk to them about how we can work together in the future for the future of the passenger and for the rail industry.
The government needs to step in and
Chris Grayling has told us today he won't do that.
No, and I've just come from a meeting seeing him today, and he's made it clear this is a dispute between Southern Rail and the unions. But I think that it's the government's role when that's not being resolved to step in.
The disruption is set to increase dramatically this time next week, when the Train Drivers Union ASLEF begins the first of 9 days of strikes. That could bring Southern services to a standstill. There's every chance this dispute will drag on into the new year. Tonight, 3 Sussex bishops urged someone to lead the way and end what they call the circle of blame. Malcolm Shaw, ITV News, Brighton.
In other news, a man who stole a number of poppy collection boxes from shops across Dorset and the New Forest has been jailed for 18 weeks. 49-year-old Philip Allen pleaded guilty to 8 counts of theft. A van has crashed into a car showroom near Arundel, causing it to partly collapse. It hit a stationary car before crashing into the building at Hammerpot Hill. The van driver was only slightly injured. 6 former Southampton youth players have now come forward saying they were victims of child sexual abuse. Allegations focus on former football coach Bob Higgins, who has denied any wrongdoing. But Hampshire police are now investigating. With the latest, Richard Slee.
He was a grown man playing psychological games with a young lad. The way he did things and the things that he did were wrong. To be doing that with young kids is wrong.
Former Southampton player Dean Radford was one of many young men who blew the whistle on Bob Higgins 20 years ago. The presenter of the Channel 4 Dispatches programme says she had hoped her revelations would lead to changes in the way young players were treated, but nothing happened.
I was horrified, but I wasn't surprised because I could see the reaction from the FA. I knew the reaction from the clubs that we'd spoken to. They just didn't want to know.
It's not as if the footballing authorities didn't already know what was being said about Bob Higgins. In 1989, the Football League sent a letter to all its clubs with a warning. And today, the former Saints manager Harry Redknapp said the rumours that Bob Higgins may have abused young players in the 1980s had been rife for years. One of Dean Radford's young teammates at Southampton was Alan Shearer, who today received his CBE at Buckingham Palace. He says he wasn't affected by the allegations against Bob Higgins, but paid tribute to those who have come forward to expose the abuse.
The more people that can do that, then the better it will be for everyone and for kids in the future. So really honest of them, really brave of them, and in doing so I'm pretty sure that they're helping a lot of people in doing that.
Yesterday, Southampton said it was working with the police to investigate the allegations against Bob Higgins. And today the FA announced it's investigating the way it handled similar allegations going back 35 years. At Bournemouth, the club is telling concerned parents that the game today is a safe place for youngsters.
I can't talk about the past, understandably, but what I can reassure them is the future, they could not be in a safer, happier environment than they are at our football club.
6 former Southampton youth players have now come forward with allegations about Bob Higgins. We have tried to contact him for a response, but Mr Higgins has not been available. He has always denied any wrongdoing. Richard Slee, ITV News.
A hospital here in the south has become one of the first to offer laser surgery as the primary treatment for cataracts. Currently, where you live depends on how long you'll wait for cataracts treatment. At the Dorset County Hospital, patients wait around 160 days from their first appointment through to surgery. At the Royal Hampshire County Hospital in Winchester, the waiting time is up to 119 days. And at the Sussex Eye Hospital in Brighton, it's around 168 days from GP referral to treatment, and that's 24 weeks. It's hoped new laser technology at the Frimley Park Hospital in Surrey will bring down waiting times. Penny Sylvester explains.
Ken Taylor is back at Frimley Park Hospital. He's recovering from a stroke, and then 4 weeks ago he had the cataract operation that changed his life.
When you get your eyesight back, it helps your balance, it helps your clarity of viewing, it helps your walking, it helps your balance, and it helps everything concentrate with the stroke. It brings it back on the eyes.
Another patient is about to have surgery. Cataracts are the most common cause of vision loss, especially as we get older.
A cataract is a cloudy lens inside the eye, and we have to get at that cloudy material to take it out. And before the laser, we would manually tear open the lens capsule and then fragment the cloudy lens into pieces and suck that out. And what the laser does is cut a perfectly circular opening to the lens capsule so that we don't have to do that, and it divides the lens into fragments ready to be sucked out.
The laser is just one part of cataract surgery, but it's having its impact on NHS waiting lists. Around 3,000 cataract operations are carried out here at Frimley Park every year, and of those 80% are now being done with this new laser treatment. That means more patients can be seen and the waiting lists are getting shorter.
Why this lends itself so well to the NHS is because we work in teams in the NHS. There's not just one surgeon in a private hospital. This is a team of surgeons, and so I can have my registrar doing the laser and feeding patients down to me in the operating theatre. That makes me very, very efficient because I'm utilising my time.
And there's no underestimating the effect of an operation that helps restore your sight.
Unbelievable. It is really life-changing. It really is good.
The future of cataract surgery on the NHS. Penny Sylvester, ITV News, Frimley.
And time now for a look at the weather with Simon Parkin.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening. Well, there was a fair bit of gloom around today. Some mist, low cloud and some freezing fog as captured by Kelvin on camera this morning. For tomorrow, it's going to be another grey start. Bit more breeze, though, means that we should see a few bright spells developing as the day goes on, and the temperatures will be quite mild as well. Basically, we've got a weak weather front out to the west. That's not going to trouble us until Thursday, so tomorrow will be that little bit breezier. By Thursday, we see a little bit of patchy light rain, but once that's cleared through Friday, is looking dry again. So certainly things are turning a bit more unsettled. But tonight, again, we've got the mist and the fog. We've also got temperatures, well, very mild for the time of year, down towards the coast in double figures, 10, 11 degrees. Inland, lows of 7 or 8, so certainly much warmer than the last couple of nights. But it will be another grey start tomorrow. But that mist will lift. Yes, there'll be a fair bit of cloud, but thanks to the strength of the breeze, we could see gusts of around 15, 20 miles an hour along the coast tomorrow afternoon. That should stir up the cloud a bit, create a few breaks here and there. We might see a few bright spells developing. And once again, the temperatures doing quite well for the time of year, peaking at 11 or 12.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
That's the way we look this evening. We are back during Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But for now, from the late team, it is good night. Sleep well. Join us again soon. Bye-bye.